Today I woke up with a very clear plan of philosophizing and logically deducing my experiences that I've been through lately in my mind, my life, the world around me, just everything I've been thinking about that's been revolving in my head. It's been very busy, for just someone who doesn't have a job, who stays home with a child. I'm very, very busy while not seeming to be busy at all. And the ways that I'm busy is that I've just been revolving in this process of healing from things and growing and knowing that I, need to be better, want to be better. I've just been in a self-betterment process for quite a while. I've been healing from stuff for a while. I've had traumatic situations happen to me while I was in the middle of healing and growing that knocked me down further, that took me to a place where I'm coming up out of my darkest ever. I'm coming up out of the worst place I've ever been. And also, in the same way, I am the best I've ever been in every aspect. Emotionally, mentally, spiritually, I'm gold. Or I'm becoming to be as close to gold as I can be at the level that I am right now. I can only do with what I am with what I can, and it's been very revealing to me in a lot of ways. It's solidified that body, spirit, mind connection as being very, very important. It's truly at core. You want to learn about the world, you need to learn about yourself. The second I began to look inside myself and uncover things about myself and learn, I was learning about everything else at the same time. On a very basic level, it's like the problems of the world are the problems of me. And at the very, very bottom, I've uncovered that I have a problem. I have issues, because I was always like, what's my problem? And then I'm like, I don't have any problems, because, people don't like to admit that they have problems. But I discovered I did. I had certain issues that I wanted to address, so I began to address them. And as I began to address them, they began to dwindle down to the point where I did get to a place where I was like, what more could I possibly need to know or work on? And yet today I've discovered a bunch of things, but they're small. But they have a very heavy value within me of my morals and beliefs and just the way that I see myself, I am very confident in myself, and I do know where I need to go, but at a certain level, I was still allowing certain things to affect me, and that was my problem. My core problem is allowing a situation to dictate my reaction or my mood or my day or my life in any manner. Is giving over that control. And I've heard people say, when you get mad up to somebody, like about whatever, you're giving them the control because you're allowing them to get you angry. And I'm like, easy for you to say. Well, stuff's going to happen in life. Life is life. And in life, we're going to drop our keys. We're going to spill the soup. We're going to slip in the fucking mud. We're only human. We're going to make mistakes. But the difference is that when you make a mistake, and this is from what I've experienced. It may not be true for everyone, but for me, every single time there's been something go wrong or a mistake made that ends up truly being, a mistake of something you're like, oh, I wish I hadn't done that or whatever. There's been a lesson to be learned there. And today it's come full circle to the most horrible things that have happened to me in my life. I have been able to see the lesson that I had to learn there, the thing that I needed to focus on in my life. And that was two things: allowing the situation to dictate how I am. So say a scenario happens, it makes me angry. The situation I'm in makes me sad, and I keep saying I'm miserable, I'm horrible, this and that and whatever, but I'm good too, because I'm allowing myself to be in a scenario so that I can provide for my son. But it's like, right now I'm just at a stuck place, but I'm at a stuck place that's safe, and I'm able to just be without needing anything else right now. I'm very lucky with that, and I need to, at every level, truly accept that I am in a very blessed place. And my feelings of despair and torment that have plagued me for a while, as open as I was and mindful as I was of things, trying to count my blessings, I still felt like I was being punished for something based on just how I felt about the way the situation was. And that's not accurate at all, because I was letting the control of that scenario control me. I can't control every scenario. You cannot control life that happens to you. You also cannot blame things that happen to you on anybody else ever. You know, any scenario, someone breaks into your house. Was your light on? Was your door locked? Was your whatever? At a very deep level, at some way, it could have been a random thing, but sometimes you leave the door open. Sometimes you told the neighbor that you had a new TV and he told his cousin, or, you know, whatever. I've had people lift things from my house, and I've seen the way that it works, you know, and then really every time that's happened, I've seen reason to find at the core, and you don't want to hear that from someone else, but I've recognized it within myself. There's a reason for every action. Why would somebody do something like take something from someone else? What would cause someone who the court system would view as a criminal, as a felon, as a dangerous person, someone that's stolen and murdered and swindled and whatever, for whatever reason, that person may be a very honestly pure soul that is providing for their family at the only way they know how in their desperate situation to survive. They might also enjoy it and just be a career criminal, but you cannot just look at someone, no matter who they are, based on their record or not, based on how they look or not, and truly judge them upon who they are in their soul, because you don't know who you're looking at. If you're looking at that man that's a cold, calculated killer, or you're looking at the upstanding preacher on the corner with his wife and kids, you do not know what is in their hearts. You do not know what is in their being based on their life, their looks, or their record. And I know it's like actions speak for themselves. They do. But we do not see every action. Nobody does. We see very, very specific views of things. Unless you're around somebody 24/7, you can't just look at that guy on the corner and think he's an asshole because you hear him yelling every morning. Maybe he's yelling every morning because he's out in his garage getting his anger out to his punching bag. You know, you think he's beating up his wife because that's what you're experiencing, but you're interpreting it as wrong. So, judging someone on their skin tone, their body, their preferences, their job, their car, their value in the bank, none of that matters, because at the very core, we are all human beings with a spirit, a soul that is an eternal energy that continues on past this earthly life into death and beyond, whatever it is you believe that is, be it, you know, your family waiting for you on a cloud, you're a bunch of virgins waiting for you by the river, Jesus is going to take you out for a beer and a burger, or you're just going to live your childhood youth again in every way with everyone you ever, whatever it is to you, your heaven will be if you are that secure, that good, that honest of a person. You're going to vibrate at a very high frequency, because we are also just human, but we are mechanical, electrical, biological, eternal entities within a flesh, body. This is us. Is it us? Are we the body, or are we the inside? Or are we the soul? Where does the soul reside in the body? Is it in the heart? Is it in the mind? I think it's in the blood and in the nerves. It's the electricity and the the fire, the water, it's what animates us. Like we are haunting these shells. But we're born into them, we exist, in them, and then they become us, and we personalize everything that happens to us, based on that. And then we take our environment, and that dictates, the way that we live our life. And it's crazy to be someone that I now see my greatest skill set in life, and that's what I'm going to have to do henceforth to provide for myself, me and my son, the way that I want to, the way that I see that I want to live. Because me, talking about where I am now, and I'm depressed about it, I'm not doing anything about it. It's hard for me to get a lot of stuff done. I'm very clogged and cluttered and lost, but I'm not. I am super focused. But in that level aspect of it, I was. And today it all came full circle because I've come through a lot this week, and went to bed with a clear purpose. And this morning I woke up and it was set, standardized. And it's been applied all day. I was interrupted in the middle of this. It wasn't a big deal. I was able to handle it and go back to what I needed to do. And because sometimes I get crazy when I'm disturbed in the middle of doing something. Everybody does. We have our little things too. I have some big things, I have some little things, but I'm working on them. And no matter what it is that I look like I'm doing, or how I sound to people, whether you're going to take it as I'm trying to do this or I'm trying to do that, that is your interpretation of my life and what I'm doing. I am attempting to just be a better person. So if you're going to think that I'm bad or doing something mean or shifty or whatever, believe me or not, I'm just trying to be a good person, be a good, honest person, and provide a good life for me and my son. So now I need to do that. And the way for me to do it is to utilize my skills to move myself forward now. And by doing that, I will be doing that. So utilizing my skills of understanding on myself in a way where I've faced those things, done the therapy myself, focused myself, I've hacked into my mind, I've reprogrammed it, I am now ready to go. My method of mind hack works. It is definitely, I am 100 times more secure, calm, focused. It's just the amount of things that I've been able to rationalize within myself just this week. If I really am being honest, it's hundreds. There are hundreds of mysteries, of questions that I have popped up in my mind, of things that are unsolved, unknown, things that I've never thought that both question and answer came so quick. It was what's the meaning of life? The meaning of life is this: to experience life, to learn from it, to love it, to appreciate it. Because the second thing that I was also not doing was not seeing the value in what I had, being appreciative, grateful, and thankful for it, and living for every moment. Because no matter what, if we're in some sort of a trapped system, a simulation, a spaceship, a matrix, a life, or whatever, we are existing right now with a life that we know, regardless of anything past and future or revolving in another reality dimensional wise around us. We are just humans living life from birth to death with what we have able to utilize around us, and that's it. I know now that my greatest skill set is my mind, my perception of things, my ability to have the multiple perspective of things that I do, like the girl with kaleidoscope eyes. I can shift around beads in light in little tumblers that become celestial galaxies of stars, of flowers, of shapes, of perspectives, of things that change and move and rotate. It's a collection of a collage that becomes another beautiful picture. That's an amazing skill to have, to be able to have the perspective that I can see into, hundreds of different types of lives and understand why they do what they do, because I feel them at that empathic of a level and I understand it mentally.